Hello, everybody. It is the Context Machine. Welcome to it. I don't know why I mess it up every time. It's, believe it or not, folks, it's not deliberate. Episode 645. I'm Bryan Jeff.
And Jeff Gammett, I am.
We've done 645 things of this.
and we still have trouble getting started. Anyhow,
hey, any day now.
Any day now. Hey, we have a website, contextmachine.io. Feel free to go check it out.
And you can use contextmachine.io to reach out to us. So you can find us on Mastodon at Context Machine or me at Geek Tells everywhere.
And me at J Gammett everywhere.
Yep, I'm especially active on Threads these days. So please come and join me there and stuff like that.
I'm more active on Mastodon, but I am active on Threads too.
Yes, you are.
Hey, Brian, I have news for you.
What?
Today's show, we are sponsored by Hims.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. We're going to tell you all about them later in the show.
Awesome.
I still have the topics written down in my notes as last week's topics.
Great.
That's not the best thing.
No, but hey, I am so proud of you for having notes.
That's fair.
Do you want to talk about the Rabbit R1?
Yeah, I do kind of want to talk about the Rabbit R1, mainly to crap talk it.
Okay. All right, start crap talk. Do you want me to tell people what this is?
Yes.
And then let you soapbox?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So think of having your own like personal AI assistant that you can carry in your pocket. That is not your smartphone. And that's the concept behind the R1. So the idea is that you can ask this device questions or ask it to perform tasks for you. And then it uses LLM, AI, they're calling it large action model instead of large language model, to perform tasks for you. So that could be like you ask it to schedule lunch reservations at some restaurant or a type of restaurant. And then it can go and figure out what restaurants serve the kind of food you want and then book the reservation for you. Yeah,
basically it can interface apps for you until, of course, those apps start blocking it.
Right. And my guess is that a lot of apps won't block it, because if it's doing something that's generating these companies money, they probably don't care if it's a little orange box in your pocket or some app on your phone. They want the booking.
Well, yeah, they do want the booking, but there are plenty of apps that monetize us in other ways, and this device would probably bypass that.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to complain about is the keynote announcement that the CEO did. And in particular, he sets up all kinds of straw man arguments and then knocks those straw men down as if he's accomplished something. And that really frustrates me because it's largely, they're straw man arguments. They're not actual arguments.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And another aspect of the frustration that I get from that is that what they're claiming to be able to do, they don't need straw man arguments to support the product.
That was the thing is I felt like he had enough of a use case argument to make that anyway, I'm just repeating what you said. He didn't need to use the straw man. And so that put me in a pissy mood at the very beginning of his presentation, and that pissy mood largely stayed with me throughout the presentation.
Yeah, I get that. This was big talk at CES. Yeah, I mean, everyone.
That and the see-through TV.
And this, yeah, the see-through TV and Vision Pro. Only two of which were actually on display at CES. So they have already sold through their initial pre-order, which was 10,000 units.
Of the Rabbit or the LG TV?
The Rabbit. The LG TV, it's not available for order yet.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
They haven't even announced pricing on the LG
or
see-through TV. Yeah. So, they're taking a second round of pre-orders that they expect to ship sometime in the spring. So there's a lot of people that are like really excited about this device. And as of CES, there was literally only one functioning unit on the planet. And that's the one that they were showing off at CES.
Right. So next, I'm going to take issue with the fact that while he kept emphasizing the LAM aspect, the large action model aspect of the Rabbit, whatever that actually means, the interfacing itself does still require LLM interactions, meaning that it is trained in part on stolen content. And that is my problem with LLMs.
It's one of my problems with LLMs. It's very, very high on the list. The idea that the only way to train a system that's going to make money for someone is by stealing everyone else's content.
And that therefore justifies the stealing.
Yeah, that's not a business model. That's just theft.
Yes, we can only do this by stealing stuff. So, you have to let us steal stuff. I get so cranky about that.
Yeah, I have a real serious problem with that part of the whole LLM business model. The large action model, which is, to the best of my knowledge, a term that the people at Rabbit came up with. It's clever, and the idea behind it, and I'm somewhat skeptical because we have not seen this device in action really. But the idea is it already knows the interfaces for a lot of websites where people are likely to buy goods or services. And therefore it can fill in the forms for you on those websites, and you don't actually have to see the website yourself. And so it can take you from, hey, I need a flight from Denver to San Jose on Thursday afternoon. And then it finds that for you and books the flight. Okay, that concept is great.
Yeah, it's similar, although executed much differently than what I've been talking about. We talked about Fetch, haven't we? I know that you and I have talked about Fetch, but I think that we talked about Fetch. I'm pretty sure we
talked about it on the show at some point.
Right. But, Fetch does it differently. My point is that I also love that idea. Like you. Mm-hmm. The also being like you.
Yeah, well, lots of people like to be like me. I get it.
It's true. So, but that's all fine and dandy. However, I doubt that the Rabbit's going to actually be able to do everything that that they say it can do initially. In particular, the length of time, the pauses between like you saying something and that being processed by the device because it's not being processed by the device; it's being processed in the cloud. So that back and forth data that was taking a while, and it was also taking a little while to get results. And I think that in practical reality, that most people are probably going to be driven nuts by that lag. I don't know that for a fact.
Bother.
I don't have one. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's going to drive people nuts because I was noticing it while he was demonstrating it. I was thinking to myself, well, you're sure speaking, methodically and clearly. And, we've got some lag going, and specifically, I think that there is a lot of promise in this concept, the Rabbit R1.
Mm-hmm.
I think in execution that the Rabbit R1 will be for early, fiendishly excited early adopters only. And then it's going to be the R2 or the R3 or the R4, maybe even the R5 before they've really got something. And while that's happening, one of their straw men that they set up was that you can't do these things with your smartphone today. But
and see, to me, that was a very disingenuous statement, not yours, theirs, because you can do these things. It's just you're doing parts of them yourself.
Right. But you can't do what they're doing with the R1 on a smartphone today. You can't say, Siri, order me up a ticket to such and such.
I found some web results.
Thank you.
When is your flight to such and such, Brian?
I knew that was going to happen. I shouldn't have done that. But you can't do that, I don't think, with Google or any of the other AIs either. But by the time that the R2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it's called, is out, you probably will be able to. Like, if they make enough progress on this, it's going to light a fire under the big boys. And do you want your second device? Do you want to carry your smartphone and your R1, your R2, your R3, your R4, or your R5, or you just want to carry one device? I gather that they want the R1 to be the device you carry. I'm saying that people aren't going to do that. So when you can do this stuff with I'm sorry, I'm just tromping all over you.
Go ahead.
When you can do these things with your Android device, with your iPhone, that the use case, the need for Rabbit's business model is evaporated. It's gone.
Okay. I think that, and now granted, this is all speculation on my part, but I think that you missed the end goal of what their business model is.
To get bought.
That's their goal. And that's why they rolled out the R1. I think the entire business model for Rabbit is to have their technology bought and integrated into someone else's product, mainly your smartphone. But they have to be able to really prove to potential suitors that the technology that they've developed isn't just smoke and mirrors. It doesn't have to be perfect.
And they are doing that with this device, for sure. They are proving that they can do something. My quibbles are about whether or not they can do something in a way that people are going to want to use. And I don't think that people are really going to want to use the R1.
All right. I'm going to be totally pedantic here with this, because you said first, you don't think they're doing something people want to be able to do. So I'm going to focus on that. And with that, I disagree. They do want to be able to tell a device to buy them a ticket to somewhere, and then it just figures it out and does it.
Yes.
The other part of what you said, I completely agree with. They don't want to have to do it with another device. We're beyond the days where people want to carry multiple technology devices in their pockets. When we had to carry our Palm Pilot, our flip phone, and our iPod everywhere we went, maybe even a digital camera, we were okay with that because that's where we were with the technology. But now we're at the all-in-one device point, and adding in a second device, while it would be cool for early adopters, is not something the average person, I think, is going to want. They want to have their one thing that does it all.
Yeah, I feel like the current state of the Android and the iPhone device market has pushed us past the point where we're willing to do that. I don't think anyone wants to go back to carrying multiple devices.
I agree.
Okay. Thank you. I accept your apology.
And I accept yours. Let's hug.
All right. So anyway, there you have it. The R1, blah, blah, blah.
Bryan, the real question for me with the R1 is who's buying the company? And how soon will we hear it? My speculation is that by the end of this year, we will have some sort of news about some other company buying R1 or very interested in buying them.
Here's my prediction. It's going to be
okay.
It's going to be Meta because they're going to buy it because they think they're going to do something with it, and they're not going to do anything with it. The end.
And that would be an absolute travesty because this technology has promise.
Yeah, but I think that promise is already here with Google Home and Siri.
All right, ask your HomePod to book a ticket to Denver right now.
I get that they can't do that today, but that Apple is working on that. That Google is working on it.
Sure. And if you could buy the company that has already developed a lot of what you need.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
You're going to get there faster.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Let's talk about, we have a brand new sponsor.
Which is pretty exciting.
That is very exciting. Hims.
Yeah. So Hims. If you're not familiar with Hims, they offer men's and women's, but men's healthcare options that you can take advantage of without having to go into a doctor. So let's say you need to get something for hair loss, or you are interested in something for ED, and you want to be able to do that quickly, discreetly, and very conveniently. Here you go, because you can do it all online.
Yeah, you get to make your appointment online. You get to see your doctor online, and then they mail you any resulting prescriptions. It's super convenient.
Yes, and if you're concerned that someone might see your package that gets delivered and you don't want them to know that maybe you're doing something for hair loss, it's okay. It's all like plain package shipping, so it's not obvious what you're getting in the mail, which for a lot, some people it doesn't matter. For others, it does. So I'm glad they take that into account.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hims offers an array of high quality options, including pills or chews for ED, and serums, sprays, or oral options for hair loss.
And that's great because that means you can get the right prescription for what your needs include.
Yep. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you for free in the discreet packaging that Jeff mentioned, no waiting rooms and no pharmacy visits. And that is very convenient. I like it a lot.
And I love that the whole process is online, just straight up, completely, 100% online.
100% online, and no insurance is needed. You can pay one low price for your treatments, your online visits, ongoing shipments, and provider messaging.
Yeah, and they also have an app, Bryan, so you can track your orders and and just the whole process, just right in an app on your phone, which I think is great.
That is great. What do they do?
So what they need to do, what all of you need to do, start your free online visit today at hims.com/context. That's HIMS.com/context for your personalized treatment options. hims.com/context. And prescriptions require an online consultation with the healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. So see hims.com/context for details and important safety information. Subscription required. And prices vary based on product and subscription plan.
That's fantastic. And we want to thank HIMS for sponsoring us. We want you to check out HIMS for yourself.
Yes. Thank you, HIMS.
All righty. Now we have...
Now we have Apple going all medieval.
Yeah, it's interesting. I haven't seen many articles talking about Apple's attitude, and I love the attitude in their press release announcing these changes they've made in Europe to comport with the Digital Markets Act. It's being called the DMA. It's not the DMCA. The DMA, and it's being talked about quite a bit because it's affecting many of the American tech companies and how they do things.
Right. For Apple, that means third-party app stores in the EU are going to be a thing very soon.
Yeah. Third-party app stores, third-party payments using NFC, third-party browsers, third-party browser hooks that an app can use, etc.
Right.
And Apple's press release makes it abundantly clear that Apple feels like this legislation is opening up users to substantially increased risk. And I agree with Apple. It's funny, man. I have long lauded the EU for taking consumer protections much more seriously than American regulators. Right? American regulators tend to defer to business, and they tend to defer to the tech companies and to all in most industries. They tend to defer to the companies, and the EU tends to defer to the user. This is one example, though, of the EU getting it fracking wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I appreciate taking users' options into account and doing things to protect consumers. However, I think in this case, they're not actually going to be protecting consumers because they're creating a scenario where your iOS devices are potentially not as secure as they were before this went into effect or goes into effect.
Yeah, this is an example of the EU not protecting consumers, but more like protecting other businesses at the expense of Apple's business. In particular, other European companies, because certainly there are European companies that have been leading the fight against this stuff, against Apple's policies. And so what this means is that, so Apple has, you know what this reminds me of, man? This reminds me of the DOJ going after Apple for iBooks.
That whole thing was so crazy the way that played out.
Yes.
Like completely unprecedented penalties.
Yes. And while allowing Amazon to get off scot-free. And Amazon, who actually has had and has monopoly power in the both books and ebook industries.
Yeah, I firmly believe that whole scenario, when that played out, what the U.S. government did was wrap up in a nice package with a bow the entire ebook market and just handed it to Amazon and said, there you go, do as you please.
Yeah, and I see this all the time. So the independent author community is very strong on Threads. And I see all the time, I see authors talking about having their books on Kindle Unlimited, which requires that they only be available on Kindle. I see authors, like there are all kinds of authors who only...
Wait. I think I misunderstood you.
Yeah.
If you are using Kindle Marketplace
Kindle
to
Unlimited.
Sell your book, Kindle Unlimited, that precludes you from using any other online ebook delivery service.
Yes, you cannot. Yes, you have to be a Kindle only self-publisher or publisher to be on Kindle Unlimited.
Wow.
And Kindle Unlimited is like, so for $10 a month, the user can download whatever they want and read it or not read it, and the author gets paid by the page that's read. But they get paid by the page that's read as those pages compare to the available pool of other pages that are read, because people are still only paying $10 a month. So if you have, so it's very possible that an author could have a record number of pages that they had read that month, but because there were so many other pages that were also read that month by other users, that they will get even less money than they got the month before. It is
so the more pages people are reading, potentially the lower value for you each of those pages will have in payout.
Yes. I'm not on Kindle Unlimited, of course, because I am.
I can appreciate why.
I'm on Apple Books and Barnes & Noble too.
Yeah. Just so people understand, the DMA, Apple isn't the only company that is being directly affected by this. And if you look in the category that the Apple's App Store falls in, that's their intermediation platform category for the EU Commission. That also includes Google Maps, Google Play, Google Shopping, Amazon Marketplace, and the Meta Marketplace. So all of those services, they're being directly impacted by the same laws.
Right. That's true. And so back to Apple, they take pot shots at this legislation throughout their press release. This press release
I love it.
Probably got, 1,000 words. I'm going to actually check that real quick. And
a lot of them are, while you're checking that, I'm going to read a quote, because Apple comes out swinging. So this is from the first paragraph. And at this point, they're talking about what they're doing and the changes they're making to comply with the Digital Markets Act. The changes include more than 600 new APIs, expanded app analytics, functionality for alternative browser engines, and options for processing app payments and distributing iOS apps. Across every change, Apple is introducing new safeguards that reduce, but don't eliminate, new risks the DMA poses to EU users.
And they have statement after statement to that effect throughout this document, which, by the way, is 1,922 words. It's much bigger than I thought. Oh my God.
Here's another one, still near the very beginning. The new options for processing payments and downloading apps on iOS open new avenues for malware, fraud and scams, illicit and harmful content, and other privacy and security threats.
Yes.
Wow.
So let's see. As announced by the European Commission, Apple is also sharing DMA compliant changes impacting contactless payments. The new throughout the introducing. I didn't do a good job of picking my moment.
No, I'm loving this because listening to you start to read and then switch over to that's so Bryan.
Yeah. That and kind of, good Lord, I'm doing it again. Anyway, Apple.
Here's one for you.
Yes, thank you.
Inevitably, the new options for developers' EU apps create new risks to Apple users and their devices. Apple can't eliminate those risks, but within the DMA's constraints, the company will take steps to reduce them.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people that have been covering this, I'm assuming they're looking at all of these statements that you and I are going, holy crap, over, and they're not getting what Apple's really doing.
Yeah, I'm guessing, judging by the actual coverage that's out there.
Yeah, the coverage that I'm seeing, and I'm not bagging on anyone's coverage, just to be clear, but the coverage I'm seeing is pretty consistently, hey, Apple is going to do this, which of course we knew. Here's what they're going to be doing. And then it talks about the technical stuff, like adding in the new sheets that explain things while you're doing orders. The fact that there will now be a new app that will be the place that third-party app stores will link into, and just all of that tech stuff.
Yeah, Phil Schiller. Do you remember him?
Yeah, good old Phil. He's the guy that jumped off the scaffolding into an airbag on stage holding an iBook while it was connected to the internet.
So he did.
That guy.
He gets a quote, and it's interesting because I haven't seen Phil quoted in an Apple press release in years. But So
what you're saying, the big news out of all this is that Phil is still working with Apple?
Yeah, that works. The changes, this is the quote attributed to Phil. The changes we're announcing today comply with the DMA's requirements in the European Union while helping to protect EU users from the unavoidable increased privacy and security threats this regulation brings. The unavoidable increased privacy and security threats this regulation brings. Apple's not pulling punches. Our priority remains creating the best, most secure possible experience for our users in the EU and around the world. Developers can now learn to. Nope, I'm gonna that one too.
Anyhow, it's clear that Apple is not pleased with the DMA, and they're not happy that these new requirements will, at least from their perspective, degrade the user experience.
That is correct. And they're probably also not happy about the fact that they're going to make less money. So the Apple, under the new business terms for EU apps, Apple estimates that 99% of developers would reduce or maintain the fees they owe to Apple. Less than 1% of developers would pay a core technology fee on their EU apps. So Apple will probably make less money from payment fees and in-app purchases and things like that. And I'm sure that does make them tense. But I think it's important to remember that at least I believe that the prime driving force behind Apple's policies on its iOS devices was to protect user privacy. And this is a rare example of the EU reducing consumer protections rather than increasing consumer. It's like what. So going back to what I was saying earlier, the EU usually does a better job of protecting consumers and privacy than American regulators. But in this case, they're doing the opposite. And I am frustrated that well, I guess this is just Apple is so big that they don't get to exist in this world where they can have their walled garden because there are other options for people to get. There are other options for people to take, but they're still big enough that the regulators are gonna mess with them.
Yep. I'm curious to see how many developers that are not scammers get on board with alternate app stores for iOS.
Yeah, and how many consumers are going to want to do that too? You know, it's possible that consumers will want to stick with the App Store because you can do that.
I think most consumers are just going to continue using Apple's App Store and call it good. I think what we're going to see is a series of app stores that are per company. So like Epic Games will have their own app store.
Yeah, so they don't have to pay Apple's.
So they don't have to pay Apple. And and other companies will set up their own app stores. I don't think we're going to see a lot of third-party app store aggregate things. Although, I hate when I forget a company's name like that. But just SetApp. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, SetApp, that I forgot your name for a second. SetApp has already said that they will be offering a third-party app store. So there's at least one that will be doing multiple apps from multiple developers that I feel like you'll be able to trust in the EU.
Yeah, I would certainly trust SetApp.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a SetApp user. I better trust them.
Yeah, I am also a SetApp user. So, yeah. So, anyway, this is happening. So, that's good.
Yay.
I'm glad I'm not in Europe, I guess. Yeah, I've been thinking about moving to Scotland.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes, it would be lovely. I loved Scotland. I don't know if they would let me move there. They'll let me visit. I'm not sure.
I mean, don't they know who you are? Oh, good point. Yeah,
that could be the problem.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is why I can't just move to a country in the EU or even to the UK, because they already know who I am.
Yeah, that's fair. By the way, did you watch the Apple 40th anniversary thing yesterday?
No, I didn't. I was busy doing a bunch of other stuff, and I feel really bad too, because I noticed today that Jim Ray, he's the developer of Purview.
Mm-hmm.
He had sent me a message saying, "Hey, this thing is happening, just so you know." And I didn't see his message because I was busy doing other stuff, so I completely missed it.
Dude, you failed.
I totally failed. And now I owe Jim an apology because he even sent me a message so I'd know.
Yeah, I didn't send you a message.
Oh, I accept your apology.
Yeah, well, I didn't remember until 7:20. It started at 7 my time, and I didn't remember until 7:20. So I tuned in late, but I did end up watching the rest of the 2 hours, and it was quite good. Although, let me be delicate here, because the Macworld All-Stars played the 30th anniversary Macintosh event.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I will say that the musical interlude was provided by David Pogue singing his joke rock Apple workups of other songs.
Okay. So like he was trying to be the Weird Al of Apple songs.
Yes. He was, and he's done this before, and apparently he's still doing it. And I will say that I think I would rather have seen the Macworld All-Stars play again, but that's beside the point.
That's actually saying a lot because David is an incredibly gifted and accomplished musician.
He is, and he was a fantastic moderator. He did a great job.
No surprise there
of keeping the show on the road and everything. But anyway, it was definitely interesting, and it was fun. It was definitely a feel good kind of event with the various panels they had up, and but there were apparently lots of Apple execs, current execs, and former executives and, all kinds of people in the audience. It was a good time. And I'm assuming you can watch it.
I'm sure the recording is, if it's not available yet, it will be soon.
Yeah. So we'll have a link to it was at the Computer History Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And which Bruce Horn is the CEO, leader. I don't know, something. Bruce Horn, he's from the original Apple Macintosh team too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
So he was there, and it was a good time. It was a very
Awesome.
fun time. And I think if you have, I feel like a lot of people who listen to the show are probably longtime Apple users.
That's probably a pretty safe bet.
Yep. And I feel like if you listen to our show, you will probably enjoy the crap out of this event.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to watching the recording.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. All right. I think that's it. What do you say?
Yeah. I think we've done enough damage for today.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fair. And that's this week's Context Machine. If you have anything to comment on that or question, you can write us at contextmachinepodcast@gmail.com. We should check that email address.
Yeah, we should.
Our bandwidth is provided by CashFly. The bass is by Dr. Boom, recorded for the show. And Jeff, that's all for this week.
It's almost all for this week because I just want to thank HIMS again for being our sponsor.
Yes.
Yeah. Start your free trial online today at hims.com/context, hims.com/context
I love
for your own
that.
personalized treatment options.
I love that URL too. Context.
Yes.
That's good. All right.
hims.com/context. Yeah.
Yeah.